Hello everyone, and it's my pleasure having you once again on Newspaper Review here in First News Sports Court. I am Kings Ojalo. Now we'll be diving straight to all our newspaper platform and giving you the headlines in the newspaper headlines. Now we're starting with the Blueprint newspaper. On the Blueprint, we have on the top, modern tax system must be data-driven, automated. That is coming from NRS Boss. Now, boldly written on that newspaper platform, we have NSA phone bulk. DSS drag El-Rufai to court. Reopens 2029 probe of Dadiata's kidnap. Now, we also have, with Ribado's bold, honest commitments, we will defeat terrorists. That is coming from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Tinubu. Now, going to the Daily Sun newspaper. On the Daily Sun, on the highlights, U.S. freezes assets of 8 Nigerians over alleged Boko Haram ISIL links. U.S. freezes assets of 8 Nigerians over alleged Boko Haram ISIL link. You find that in page 7 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Now on the top, electoral reforms. NAS takes final decision on real-time transmission. 19 others close as harmonization committee meets. You find that in page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Now, on the bottom, soldiers kill 2 suspected terrorists in Ondo, raid hideouts in Benue. Now, we also have Dangote sign $400 million equipment deal to fast-track refinery expansion. Now, moving to the Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard, on the highlights, Electoral Act, hide and seek game in Abuja as reps avoid joint meeting. You find that in page 5 of that newspaper platform. We also have on the top, visa fraud overstayed by Nigerians may attract stricter scrutiny, US wants. You find that in page 8 in the Vanguard newspaper. Still on the Vanguard, BUA's MOU with Abu Dhabi Ports. BUA MOU with Abu Dhabi Ports. Maya Group. Tinubu hail Nigeria UAE industrial breakthrough. Now moving to the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper, on the highlights, 432 billion naira probe. Efcc detained El-Rufai. DSS on standby. We find that in page 2 of that newspaper platform. Now on the top, we have Kwara, Niger map out joint counter-terror plans. You find that in page 7. Still on the top, Kano Central to APC plan, says Shetima. You find that in page 5 of that newspaper platform. 65% Nigerians demand lower interest rate as MPC convenes. You find that in page 44 of the Punch newspaper. Moving to the Nigeria Tribune newspaper, we have on the highlights, FG charge El-Rufai over NSA phone interception. Federal government charges El-Rufai over NSA phone interception. You find that in page 2 of that newspaper platform. Now, going to the top of the Nigeria Tribune, Nigeria's inflation eases to 15.10% in January. You find that in page 6. NRS announces phase rollout of e-invoicing electronic fiscal system. You find that in page 6. Defense headquarters announces arrival of 100 U.S. troops. Yes, recently, more troops deployed from the United States arrive in Nigeria. Now, that is in page 45 of that newspaper platform. Now, still on the Nigeria Tribune, U.S. sanctioned 8 Nigerians over linked to Boko Haram ISIL cybercrime. You find that in page 2. Now, moving ahead to the Leadership newspaper. On the Leadership, EFCC grills El-Rufai for hours as federal government files criminal charge against ex-governor. You find that in page 4 of that newspaper platform. Now on the top, Kano hails President Tinubu APC government over 8 billion naira donation to Singa market fire victims. I'll take that again. Kano hails President Tinubu APC government over 8 billion naira donation to Singa market fire victims. That's which happened in Kaduna State recently in a market called Singa Market. A very sad story there. Now we also have Katsina, Zamfara, launch regional IPD policy action plans. You find that in page 20 of the leadership newspaper. Now, without not wasting much of our time, we'll go to the Daily Monitor. On the Daily Monitor, on the highlights, still on the matter of El-Rufai, El-Rufai lands in trouble as DSS slams him with 3 counts criminal charge. Now, we also have on the top, alleged link with terrorism, cybercrime orders, US sanction 18 Nigerians and titles. Now, on the bottom, Nigeria inflation rate was 50.10% in January. That is coming from NBS. Looking at the Matrix newspaper, on the Matrix, on the highlights, we will win battle against insecurity, coming from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Tinubu. We find that in page 2. Still of the Matrix, Tinubu hails Nigeria UAE partnership. Now, on the right side, protesters return to National Assembly demands real-time election result transmission. You find that in page 2. Now, on sports, FA Cup 5th round, Man City to tackle Newcastle as Arsenal travel to Mansfield. You find that in page 25 of that newspaper. Now, on another top story, Natasha protest exclusion from North Central Committee. Yes, there was a tragic incident with Natasha and other Senate members at the FCT yesterday. Now, you will find that in page 2 of the Matrix newspaper. Now, moving ahead to the Peak newspaper. On the Peak newspaper, many headlines on that newspaper platform, which we will be starting on the highlights. Nigeria senator is a 16 years single term for president. Interesting one. Nigeria senator is a 16 years single term for president. Now, we also have ADC slams INEC over silence on Wike's comments ahead of FCT council polls. ADC slams INEC over silence on Wike comments ahead of FCT, where the FCT minister said he has no apology for anyone of voting those who are loyal to the president. Now, going to Abia State, Abia government to clear salary arrears of former councillors. Wow, that is an interesting one from the amiable Governor Alex Oti. Now, going straight to the Daily Trust newspaper. On the Daily Trust, EFCC detained El-Rufai. That is the usual headlines. We also have on the bottom, KNSG commends President Tinubu APC government over 8 billion naira donation to Singa market fire victims. I'll take that again. KNCG commends President Tinubu APC governors over 8 billion naira donation to Singa market fire victims, which happened in Kaduna State recently. Now, we also have 100 US personnel equipment arrive Bauchi. Now, we also have goods destroyed as residents protest against Northern in Rivers. I'll take that again. Goods destroyed as residents protest against Northerners in Rivers State. That is all on the Daily Trust newspaper. Now, going to this day newspaper. On this day newspaper, on the highlights, we have EFCC detained El-Rufai as DSS files cybercrime charges. Yes, we could see that El-Rufai is on the headlines on all newspaper platforms. Now, we also have oil sector. RMAFC panel recommends state of emergency forensic audits. Derivation revenue adjustment. I'll take that again. Oil sector. RMAFC panel recommends state of emergency forensic audit. Derivation revenue adjustments. Now, going to our last newspaper for today, which is the Nation newspaper, which we have on the headlines. El-Rufai faced 2-year jail for alleged cybercrime offenses. Now, on the top, General Musa explains presence of U.S. military. Now, we also have Nigeria film TGI seal deal with Indian group RCPL. Now, all these are on the Nation newspaper. And that is all we have on this segment on Newspaper Review. Many thanks for being with me and watching. I am Kings Ojalo. It's a bye for now.